Hi there. I'm Danny Gregory. This is Draw With Me. That is the leaf blower. 'Tis autumn. And welcome. So today we are going to do some drawing. But first I want to point out how cool those various sketchbook pages were that we saw in the introduction. Those are from last week where we drew our Thanksgiving the things that we were giving thanks for this year, the year of the plague 2020, in which despite all the horrors, there are still lots of things to be happy about. So we are happy, and we celebrated it with all those wonderful drawings. If you would like the drawings that you do today to be included in the opening of next week's episode, please make sure that you put them somewhere on social media and that you use, can I do this correctly? This hashtag SBS Draw With Me. Put it on there somewhere on your post. If you're a member of Sketchbook School's community and you've been taking a class with us, you are no doubt a member of the schoolyard, in which case you don't need to worry about hashtags. Just post your drawing there. And we'll see them, we'll gather them, and we'll celebrate them next week. So that will be nice. And it will be nice to see. Yes, the leaf blowers are having fun today. They didn't come last week, fortunately. But the leaves are falling here in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm wearing a sweater here in Phoenix, Arizona. What the hell? You know, I assumed that it would be pool weather year-round here, but no. The pool is open, but there are ice cubes and icebergs and polar bears and penguins swimming around in it. So, no, it's cold here. Well, it's not that cold. It's 57 degrees. So really, should I be complaining? But no. I am... It is sunny. It is nice. But the leaves are brown, and they have fallen. Not from the palm trees, but in other places. So, it is nice, nonetheless. You know, autumn is nice, too. I hope you are enjoying it. So, let's talk about a few other things, and then let's plunge into some drawing. You've written down your hashtag. You're ready to go with that. Excellent. Okay. What else do I want to talk about? Well, let me just quickly rattle through a few announcements. One of which is Danny's List. If you're a regular visitor to this channel, then you're familiar with Danny's List. It is a weekly email that I write. It's not marketing. It is musing. It's what I'm thinking about, what I'm wondering about, what's inspiring me, what I'm thinking about in words, and I put it down on my computer device and I email it to you. So if you would like me to send it to you, I do it every Friday. I didn't last Friday. Robert Spinola pointed out to me. He emailed me to say, "What's going on? Are you all right?" And I said, "Yes, I'm taking the day off. But I'm not taking tomorrow off. I'm going to be sending you an email. So sign up." And this is where you do it at sketchbookschool.com/Danny's List. All right, it's also down below. So I'm going to remove it for now. Also, giant numbers. Text me. If you text me, I'll remind you that there's another Draw With Me. I'll also send you inspiration. This morning I sent out a really nice thing that I saw that somebody had done on Twitter. This woman had put out a tweet just before Thanksgiving in which she said, a lot of us are alone on Thanksgiving or aren't with the people we love, so let's have a virtual Thanksgiving. And she did a drawing of a Thanksgiving table with herself sitting at it. And she said, if you tweet me and tell me that you want to come to the virtual Thanksgiving, tell me what color eyes and hair you have and what you're going to bring, I'll add it to the drawing. And over the course of days, she added more and more drawing, more and more little, they were stick figure drawings. It wasn't like an amazing sketch. It was a fun diagram essentially, and she added in all these people, and there were rows and rows of them, and the table got more and more full. I just loved it. And if you had been texting with me, I would have sent it to you, but now you know about it anyway. And you don't need to. This only works in the United States, sorry, and Canada. US, Canada, Northern America, Mexico, I don't know, probably not. But maybe that will change in the future. It's supposed to change. What else? New workshop. Yes. We have an amazing new workshop that's starting very soon, actually. It's coming up, and it is with my good friend Ian Fennelly. People love Ian Fennelly. If you don't know him, I'll show you some of his stuff in a minute. But he is an incredible artist who lives in Liverpool. He's Liverpudlian. He has the full John Lennon accent when you'll hear him. And he is going to be doing a workshop about how to watercolor your home. You might want to wallpaper your home. You might want to stucco your home. But now you're going to learn how to watercolor your home. How to do a portrait of your home in watercolor. It's a wonderful idea. He and I were talking about what could we do that would be interesting, that would change kind of the nature of urban sketching in some way. And we came up with this idea of watercoloring your home and trying to capture the story and the emotion of your home. It could be the house you live in now. It could be the house you grew up in. In his case, he's drawing the house that he raised his children in, that he and his wife and his dogs and his kids lived in. And it's just a wonderful experience watching him do it. So it's a live workshop. It's coming up. When is it, guys? In a week and a half or so? Yeah, it's and he is also an amazing teacher, as Catherine points out. He's an amazing teacher. So this is going to be a lot of fun. If you're a Spark member, you get a discount, or you might even get it for free. A lot of y'all are doing that. So that is pretty nice. And that's coming up. So what Ian did a workshop for us called Paint the Town Gray, which is all about tones, but this one is full on color. You got watercolor, you got markers, you got pens, all kinds of stuff. And he does it on location. He gives you the photograph so you can draw his house if you'd like, but he also takes you step by step how to do the composition. And it's fantastic. He and I were talking about it yesterday. I recorded a little interview with him, but Alexis did a really great interview with him on Instagram. So you can see that on our channel. And so I'm going to post the interview I did with him on YouTube later on, probably today, and you can hear him talk more about the class. But the idea is, no matter if you've never drawn a house before or if you've been doing urban sketching for years, either way, you're going to get a huge amount out of this. So let me just show you quickly what this is all about, and then we'll move on. Here we go.
Hiya guys, and welcome to sunny Hoylake. And this over the road is the house I used to live in years ago, and I am going to be doing an urban sketching workshop for you, showing you how I am going to draw my house. Your own drawings can be based upon your own house. It's all about this journey of looking and discovering the memories and the experiences from the past. It's broken down into lots and lots of steps. So I start off with the big shapes, sketching them out really lightly with a brush pen, then we put the colour on, and then we put the detail on. So you can work alongside me. From that, you will gain the skills and the knowledge to apply it to your own drawings, and it's going to be super, super fun. So thank you guys so much for joining us.
Twiggy, do you want to watercolor our home? Twiggy works in other media. She paints our yard on a regular basis, right? Yes, you're nice. So so Twiggy is going to be joining me as we watercolor our home, and we're going to work in whatever media come to hand, but Ian is going to teach us all kinds of cool things. So please, if you wanted to come, you don't have a lot of time to sign up because we're announcing this a little bit late. When can people sign up?
I think until the 10th.
They have until the 10th. You have until the 10th of December to sign up. Twiggy, would you mind? Because I can't draw with you here. Thank you, Jane. So yes, so that's that is the exciting news that's coming up, is watercolor your home. So if you're looking for an excuse to learn watercolors, this is it. You could make, I don't know, a beautiful painting and give it to somebody for Christmas. You could also learn skills that you can apply to urban sketching, anything. So anyway, December 10th, yes, that is, and it's going to be on Saturday, and then we're going to have a feedback session on Sunday. So if you make a painting and you want to share it with Ian and get his feedback on it and get one-on-one tips, you can do that too. It's going to be pretty cool. Ian is just, he's just my favorite. I love doing workshops with him. It's just really fun, and he's really into it. So yes, as Jenny points out, Twiggy is now 6.5 pounds. She went to the vet yesterday, got herself inoculated and weighed. She is big. So yes, as Jen says, a fun workshop. I want to see everyone's home. It's true. Can you imagine? Because we're going to spend several hours doing these really beautiful drawings, and then we're going to have this incredible, like a street. It's like all of our homes are going to be on the same street, virtual street. It's so nice. Cool. Okay. Let us talk about what we're going to do today. So I was thinking, inspired by this, I like this idea of hominess. There's something about this time of year. There's something about the fact that I'm in a new home, my new studio, our new house. I'm learning about it. And I was thinking it would be nice. Is it several hours? Yes, it's several hours. Yes, this is a full-blown workshop. It's like two or 3 hours altogether. I forget. You can go to the website and find out. It's 3 hours. Oh, it is 3 hours? Yes, I forgot. So anyway, home. So I was thinking about the idea of home. Obviously, in Ian's workshop, we're going to do like a really detailed look at your home and so forth. But I was thinking more about the idea of home. And here's one of the things that inspired me as I was thinking about it. Do you know this book? It is called, well, obviously, The Little House by an artist named Virginia Lee Burton. The book came out in like the 75th anniversary. Is that now? So it won the Caldecott Medal, which is what the best children's books win. But it came out in like the 30s or 40s. And it's a story. Let me just show you what I love about this. Virginia Lee Burton also did a book called Mike the Steam Shovel. Is that what it was called? She just has a great way of anthropomorphizing stuff, big stuff. So it's the story of this little house, and it's in the middle of the countryside. And the house is built, a family moves into it, and I mean, look at this drawing. I mean, it's like, it has a sort of a Grandma Moses kind of vibe, primitivist, but also beautifully designed. Look at those trees. Look at the circularity of the landscape, the circularity of the whole page, and then that sweet little house. It's like a little cottage that looks like a face, and this is, to me, like a step beyond, a very small step beyond what we would do as children, right? When we would draw houses, this very simple way. And that's what was sticking in my head. And so it's a story of this little house in the country, and then how over time, it's sort of a story about, is it gentrification? Not really. It's about urban sprawl. So basically, the suburbs extend into the countryside until the little house is surrounded by cars and trucks and all these buildings and other houses and so forth. And over time, that extends until she is, I guess it's a she, maybe it's a he, is there surrounded by tenements, essentially, and the city is growing up around the little house, and then it becomes bigger and bigger and more industrialized, and crowds, and the little house is sort of lost there under the elevated train. And then eventually, just as things are getting particularly grim, this truck comes along and puts the little house on a trailer and takes her away. And eventually she ends up back deeper in the countryside. So, but I look at this drawing. I mean, this is the drawing I did when I was 5, right? this is home. The little house on the hill with the trees and the sun overhead. It's just a really good feeling. It's a feeling drawing. And I thought, like, that's what I'm in the mood to do today. I'm in the mood to just draw something simple and friendly and almost childlike. And, you know, we could draw this sort of abstracted, idealized version of a house, or we could draw our own little house or our own little apartment. So what I was thinking is, rather than it being an observed drawing, like Ian will be doing in his workshop, instead it would be kind of an expressionistic and emotional drawing. What is it we feel, or what is it we see when we think of home? You know, and it might be, you might want to draw, I mean, we've all been spending so much time at home this year, right? I think our relationship with where we live has changed, and I want to kind of capture that too. I'm living in this house now that we found ourselves in precipitously. Overnight, we suddenly ended up in this house miles from our home, thousands of miles from our home in New York City, and we ended up in this little house. And my relationship with it's changed over time, and now we've brought all of our stuff here, and we actually really live here. We're not just staying here, we live here. This is our home. And so my relationship to it has changed too, and I haven't really quite encountered that. You know, I haven't really expressed that to myself. I haven't explored that idea. So how has your relationship with your home changed this year? You know, have you a lot of people have been working on their homes and have improved them or fixed them up. So is that what you've done? Or maybe your home feels like a prison that you've been trapped in. You haven't been able to leave, or maybe you've been trapped in it with somebody else, and the two of you are like, you know, cellmates. Or maybe not. Maybe you've changed your relationship with it, and you've started to, you know, you're working at home now, maybe, or you're not traveling, you're appreciating where you are, or maybe you're can't wait to leave it. Maybe that's what it is. So, you know, let's just look at that as the inspiration for our thing, our drawing today. So no reference beyond that inspirational reference of Virginia Lee Burton. But here's my sketchbook page. It's blank. I'm working in a really big sketchbook today because I don't know. I felt like I wanted to do a big house, or I want to do a house in a big space. So maybe that's how you feel too. Yeah. So I also want to not work from a photo. I want to draw the feeling. So I don't actually know incredibly well what my house looks like. I haven't really drawn it that much. I'm generally inside of it, and it is a new place for me. So I'm going to think a bit about that. And I think I'm going to use a watercolor brush. I'm going to start with that. And I just feel like having, what does this even look like? I'm not even sure what I just mixed up. Try it out here. That's a little bit darker than I wanted. But yeah, so, you know, get yourself together. Figure out what you're going to do. How are you going to approach this? You know, are you going to, I mean, you might want to draw, I don't know, the cat in the window. And you might say to yourself, that's what my focus is going to be. I'm going to just, I'm just going to draw a corner of my home to be my home. Or you might say, I'm going to draw my home from across the street or from the sky or something. My home, our new home, is kind of like this. So I'm thinking and I want to. Our home it's a ranch style home, so therefore it is. The house that I lived in when I was in New York was sort of the opposite shape. It was tall, and it was a rectangle that was tall, but this house is kind of like this, and I've never really lived in a house that's this shape before. While I'm waiting for this to dry, let me show you something. This is an old sketchbook of mine that has this page in it. Let's see if I can show it to you. So this is drawings I did this is years ago. This is the various houses that I lived in. This is when I lived with my grandparents, and this is my room. And this is when I lived in this little tiny house in Australia when I was a little kid, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, 6 to 9 I wrote here. That's about right. This house looked like a kid's drawing of a house. That's actually what the house looked like. How do I know? Because I went back on Google Street View, Google Maps, and I looked at it, and that's what I remembered it looking like. And then I lived in an apartment in Israel on the top floor, and that was our apartment. There was always this old woman leaning on the railing with her cat looking over there. And then this is the house when I don't even remember this house, but this is the house that my parents lived in when I was born, near Portobello Road, Elgin Crescent in London. So anyway, I had done that as an exercise a while ago. And now, meanwhile, this is feeling pretty dry. So yeah. And now I'm going to take this, which is a Tombow pen, and again, I don't know exactly what this house looks like, but I'm going to kind of do it by feel. So it has a garage, which is somewhat unusual for me. I mean, I haven't really lived in many houses with garages before, but that's pretty much what it is. It has a wooden door, and the house itself isn't really brown. It's really more gray, light tannish gray, like a light gray. So I'll come back to that later on. And then this is the kitchen, and I think, again, I'm sort of doing this by feel, by vague memory. There's a window, and then there's another window looking into the kitchen, and then there's, I think, yes, and it has these sort of little ersatz shutters there, and then there's another window. So that's all the kitchen. And then there's the front door. And then there's this sort of slats, like these cement slats that have a light behind them. It sits there. And then there's this studio, actually. Here's that window right there. And then, what else is there? I think is that it? I think it goes on for a while. Maybe is there another window? Let's see, I don't remember. Shows how completely unobservant I've been about this house. So, okay, let's just say there isn't. Let's just say that's the end of it. All right, so there's that. And then, of course, it has a roof, which is sort of not too high of a roof, like that. And this thing sort of comes around. Is that how it works? Yeah. And then, here's the door handle. Right now we have a wreath on it, so I'm going to put that wreath there. little sort of Christmassy wreath. And I'm probably forgetting all kinds of things. I'll have to go back and look at it later on. But this is sort of my feeling about it. Is it's a sweet little house. It's, it's kind of long, and then it has bushes here, a series of bushes, and then there is this tree, quite a big tree. It sits right here, and this tree is big. It's like that big. And then here in front, part of the reason I'm not entirely sure about this, the way that these windows work, is because we have two pear trees that are sort of like that, and they kind of go across, and there's another one here, and it kind of goes across too. So when you look at the house from the front, you're sort of more struck by the trees than you are by anything else. And then there's a chimney back here because we have a fireplace there, and there's various other doodads, I imagine. And then back here we have a gate. I think Claire says, "Don't forget Twiglet on the doorstep." It's true. I'll put Twiglet in the yard. And then we have this sort of, it's like a brick wall kind of thing here that goes back. And then over here we have a continuation of this fence. And I think there's another tree back there too. And there's another tree back over here on the other side of the house. And there's sort of a palm tree kind of back here. And then our house, actually, as if it was a kid's drawing, has a path. It has a driveway. How am I going to make this driveway? The driveway basically kind of goes back here. And then we do have a kind of, just like the little house, we have this pathway that kind of leads to the street. And then there's the street here. There's that driveway, and then there's some more like little hedges, and there's more grass over here, but I'm not going to draw that. And then, so this is all kind of gravelly, and this is the street. It's kind of it. That's basically my new home. So it kind of looks like that. And now let's have some fun with it, because there's so much that we can add to this, right? Now we can, again, thinking about, do you want to have a look at that little house thing again? I just want to go back and look at it for 1 second. Sweet. So I'm going to start adding some other colors. Oof, that's not good. Got to watch it with water brushes, because they can get kind of messed up over time, and they can get embedded with stuff. So, and then there's actually, I want to draw there's some other little hedges and things like that sit around there. And I'm going to paint them in a brighter green. Good to have a bunch of different kinds of greens mixed up. There's so many thousands of greens one could make. And I did a bunch of paintings when we lived in Los Angeles for a little while, for about a year, and we never really officially moved there. We still had our apartment in New York, but we were out there for work and stuff. And we moved there via UPS, essentially. We shipped things in little increments by packages. Cardboard boxes were constantly appearing. So we ended up having some pretty nice bits of cardboard. And I had a studio there in a garage, and I had all these bits of cardboard. And so I decided to do paintings of my new street. And I did them on this cardboard. I'll show it to you sometime. And the cardboard has held up. We actually end up having that painting hanging above our bed in New York for years. And I'm actually thinking of putting it up back there behind me. I have two of them. One of them is going to go in our bedroom. But maybe it's time to do a new one here. So what I liked about the concept behind this painting was, it was in acrylics and it was on this cardboard. A series of cardboard boxes kind of joined together. And the cardboard was, it was a traveler. These cardboard boxes had traveled from one of our homes to the other. So we ended up with this painting that kind of commemorated this move in a nice way. I was pretty happy with. I should probably draw the guy with the leaf blower somewhere around here too, right? My nemesis with a leaf blower. I want to keep this simple, again inspired by Ms. Burton. I don't want to get too detailed, and I want to keep the colors nice and flat. So I'm not going for realism at all. I'm going for just the feeling. To me, simplicity, friendliness, that's what makes it feel like home. So, but I'm also thinking I'm going to work on this for a while. I think that will be really the key to this. So I'm doing something kind of fast now, but I'm going to keep working on this for much of the morning, I think, because it feels like something nice about doing a drawing that is simple, but has had a lot of work that went into it. And that's what this is an opportunity to do. How's yours coming? Are you doing this exercise? How do you feel about it? It's a weird challenge have you drawn the outside of your house before? And if you live in an apartment building, how are you going to tackle that? I painted our apartment in New York a few times, our apartment building, and it was not really as satisfying as doing what I did in in Los Angeles. I sort of thought it would be cool, but it kind of wasn't. But it was also important. It was important to capture that place, even though it was a different experience, because it was a different experience living there. When you're in New York, you're surrounded by stores and stuff, so it's harder to feel like it's truly yours in some ways. And sure enough, that place isn't mine anymore. It's weird to think, but there's the people who just bought our house are having a baby. They may have had the baby by now. Any minute they're about to have a baby. So that baby is going to grow up in this apartment and think of it as their home. And to me, that is the place where my son Jack grew up. He grew up there in that house. And now that in that apartment, and now suddenly there's like new kids and it's theirs. It's their home now. They already have one kid, now they have a second who's now going to grow up there thinking of that. So, you know, that's nice. So anyway, so this is my first stab at this. I'm going to come back, I think, as I keep working on this and think about some more layering. Marilyn is painting the lobby of her apartment building. I like that. That's nice. That is nice. What else? Lenore's painting her row house in Hoboken. That's a great idea.
I texted you a photo if you want to share it.
Oh, Jenny just sent me a photo. What is this photo? Let's see. What's the photo of? Oh, I don't have it. I didn't get it, Jenny. But thanks anyway. Anyway. Sorry. You got to look at my sleeve for a minute there. Let me come back to me. Okay, so it's big and it's just started. So it's still, as you can see, it's kind of, the colors are a little flat, a little anemic, because I want to layer it. I want to build up my layers. So, what else? Aha, here we go. Ah, yes. Here is a picture of our house. I drew it once before. I may have shared that with you. I did draw it once before, but I did it all in shades of gray. It's feeling kind of gray in those days when we first were living here, and I wasn't sure how I felt about this place. But now, it is home. So, home, complex concept, happy home is what I was going for. And, ooh, that picture didn't come through. All right, sorry about that. Yeah, so, yes, there's a palm tree in my painting. Yes, there's a palm tree. We have a palm tree across the street. We have a palm tree on... All of our neighbors have palm trees. We actually don't have a particular one, but... yeah. What pen am I using? I'm using a Fabriano sketchbook. It's Fabriano Venezia. Love this sketchbook. I'm using Winsor Newton watercolors, and I'm using my standard Tombow Fudenosuke. Essentially a manga pen. That's one thing people call it. But if you want to get it, I think you can. I'm not sure. It's fairly easy to find. Here we go. Will it show up? Ah, there it is. All right, there it is. There's the guy with the leaf blower. Yep. There's my mother-in-law's car, the barge. And there's our pear trees. So that's what it really looks like. But so yes, Linda says she just moved a few months ago. This would be a great tribute, really, and also a great way to get to know your house. That's what I'm finding by doing it. Lenore says she did gouache first. Now she's going to add some pen. Yes, that's nice. So yeah, so there's lots of different ways of exploring this thing. CW did a totally abstract rendition of her living room. I like that idea. And what else do we have? Julian is not having a good time. I'm sorry, Julian. So yes, so that is today's thought. I hope that you'll join me in this workshop. We have a lot of things coming up in December, so this is pretty exciting. But this workshop is you have like a week to sign up for it, so better get on it, and I'll see you there. And meanwhile, if you're a member of Spark, Breakthrough, or Danny's Circle, I'll see you in the after party where we're going to continue working on our houses, and we can show them to each other, and we can enjoy the rest of the morning in quiet, creative merriment. Thanks for joining me and drawing with me today. I look forward to seeing you again next week, and doing some more drawings that mean something to us. That's really what I'd like the focus of Draw With Me to be. It's not about doing amazing drawings. Oh my God, this guy's on YouTube, man. He's doing incredible demonstrations. It looks just like Brad Pitt. You won't believe it. Not really my vibe. My jam is let's have fun drawing. It's fun hanging out. It's fun jabbering. And let's just make stuff. Good, bad, or indifferent. Better to make a bad drawing than not to make a drawing at all. Don't you think? I do. That's why I make so many bad drawings. I huge dumpsters full of them. It's awesome. But, I think if I was sitting around grumbling and, I don't know, cruising YouTube, looking for inspiration, just get out a pen, get out a sketchbook, draw something, make something, and have a good time doing it. That's the main thing. So, all right, guys, I'll see you next week. Thanks again for drawing with me. I'm Danny Gregory, and this is the end, my friend. Well, it's actually just the beginning of this drawing. I'll show it to you next week. And I look forward to seeing yours, too. Don't forget to throw on that hashtag SBS Draw With Me so that I can add it to the beginning of the next installment in the exciting adventure that is drawing with me. Bye-bye.